because the Industrial Revolution, they discovered that with a small salary, the people were more productive with the bad treatment of slavery. So forget about slavery. And the people are not educated, they don't know even how to use a screwdriver. So that's why the slavery end up, not because they are human or etc. etc. Well, anyway, so many, but this was this little conversation for you to have in mind was what we experienced with him every time. Every time a small, simple contact was about an important conversation. It's incredible. And he was aware of that. He did it on purpose. I remember once he was there and said, well, I talk about what is important to me. I am not going to talk about ¿cómo se dice? The rent.
The what?
The rent, to pay the rent. No voy a hablar de alquileres.
Claro.
Hablo de cosas interesantes.
Claro.
You know, dice, claro. And another thing he used to try to sort out, se dice, to move around, is because people like to complain. Oh, so bad things. And then what? We can stay in that for years. Because now we saw that this early in my house. I mentioned something from here, and you mentioned something worse from there.
Yeah.
And then we have a French here.
We've been in that mood today, right?
If you have somebody from France or from Germany.
Yes.
Yes.
Una lloradera.
Pero what, como dicen, as he used to say, what like the Indian from India, from Mumbai, they say, what to do? You know, they have this way of talking. What to do? Well, we have to come up with something. And then it's our position, internal changes. And if we are a lot, we can do external changes. But we cannot stay in complaining because no solution. And this is more or less his position. But this is what every time. Somebody mentioned to me once, we were talking about this, that this ability that Negro comes from any topics, come with some good conversation. One day he was in a house of friends, he sat down in a chair, but the chair had 3 legs. Not a chair, a bench, a little bench stool with 3 legs. It moved. Yeah, maybe, watch out, maybe it fall, you know. No, it's good to move because you cannot take for granted that everything will be solid. No? It keeps you alert. And immediately he says, everybody should have a bench of this in his house. Each house has
to practice this point of view, right? But other thing that I hear that he says, I don't remember in one material or one, that he says, instead to ask why, ask para qué.
Claro, what for?
What for?
The function of this.
Have to change that question, no?
Well, if you go into that, things get worse because you talked before about that the people who are in the system, they like to maintain this system in that way. So all these messes are on purpose maintained of that because these guys fulfill their greedy stuff, you know. And how to overcome all that? It's complicated. Anyway, let's come back to our subject. Well, we did something, we talked about something. We were talking about the retreats and the first meeting and the first gathering, and now come in my conversation, come the period of the long retreats. We did retreats of 6 months, 7 months, 4 months, and the very first one was we did in the north of Argentina, in the Jujuy jungle.
Yeah.
We have a jungle too. We have everything here.
He saw the picture I showed him, the casita, the casa, the stone casas.
Everything. And after that, some other people did the same long retreats in Cordoba, in other sides. I did once in Chile, and other people did in Chile, and then we continue. But at that time,
And then Silo first did to you and you reproduced to others? Okay.
I went to the north. We stayed there. I stayed there 4 months and a half in '67. And we have a period, we give us a period, you see what I told you, everything is stages, period.
Yes.
We give three years period for growth, for development, and then we meet again. We will meet again. So other people started in the middle of this.
Yes.
And in the middle of this 3-year period, he says, I will do my period of public speeches as Silo. That's why I was telling before you that the third simple conversation, I was present there with the newsman, and I say, the newsman was a guy from Buenos Aires, you know how they are, very straightforward. I say, why are you going to say that? What are you going to talk to? Why? Well, because we were a group of people and friends, and we decided it's time to give us our public speech, not internal.
Yes.
We have to tell the public what we are doing. Maybe somebody is interested, or maybe it's useful for them. And I volunteer. I can do it. You raise the hand. I can do it. Now I say no. Okay, I do it. But I'm not going to be into that all my life. No. 1 year, we'll see. And that's why he went public here in Punta de Bac. First, he went to the retreat, and this is a small story within the long story, because when he decided to do that, this was in the middle of '68. And the time goes by, and Mario says, no, we need a lot, un terrenito, ¿cómo se dice?
Yard. I don't know. A land, little land.
Piece of land beyond Uspallata. And beyond Uspallata is mountain.
Yeah.
And these are state land, no private. Nobody sell nothing to you over there. That's why it was very difficult to find. And then we mobilized, and our group find the real estate guy who used to say that have, I don't know, thousands of hectares. How can we do? And still they have, this family have this land beyond the river. You see the little river there? Beyond there is his land. It's not state land. But since the rest is state, the state don't give him allowance to go to build a bridge, to build a road, and he can commercial market his land, and also his mountain dry. Who will go there? So this was the situation. And then we have a deal with him. We have a deal. Again, I have the situation with my age, because I still was young. With other guy that is now living in Chile, with the two of us went there, and Negro says, no, we'll do a generational change. We cover the generational gap. And instead to go kids of 16, 17, let's have somebody at least 25.
At least 25.
and somebody who have a title, for instance, somebody is a lawyer. Oh, this is a lawyer. Okay, he's a lawyer. Okay, you go. And, so some people more system-like, more acceptable for this real estate guy, because we were young, and they give a contract, no sé cómo se llama, a provisory contract, allowed him to stay there, but not totally owner, because for this situation. But life is strange, and We didn't know at that time, and recently nobody knew that there are laws here that people who stay years and years in some remote places, they can claim that land.
Homesteading.
Huh?
Homesteading.
Exactly. And this is what we did here. We show that we have been there for 30 years, first this important period, and then we went there regularly, and the government accept and give us this plot. Amazing. Amazing and complicated, because it's very complicated climate, you know. Sometimes in January, I mean in summer, it's very hot. At night it's windy, but it's our place. And this is something that Mario wanted to do it, because around the year 2000 or something, he says, the people ask him, when are you going to talk again, Negro? Because he didn't talk after the 1980.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, one of the last public talk was in the Hall of Flowers in San Francisco, and in Mexico, the Mexico chat. You know this chat, remember?
Yeah.
This is in 82 or something. When are you going to talk again? In my place, in our place. If we don't have our own place, I don't talk anymore. In their place.
Oh, he said that? Wow.
I mean, what talking about? You know, we never owned a flower pot, you know.
Yeah.
Because it changed completely the mind. The mind. We need to, because anyway, it's true, because you know, when we learn something, we rent a phone, we can do a speech here.
Yeah.
But when this after disappear,
Yes.
it's for a day. It's like a show.
Yeah.
Not,
That's it.
Exactly. After that, and so we
Yeah.
need now. We need things to stay. And this changed completely our heads, you know, because we have to start looking for places, and money never was our strong point, but so far,
We did.
I am telling you, so far, extremely good,
It's
because I
wonderful.
never saw so many places.
But also Punta de Vacas is wonderful.
It's
Have
wonderful.
everything, all, you know, you go to the cabins, have everything that you need, and kitchens and bathroom and tanks and buildings
And
and,
you know,
everything.
this was built in a record time. Record time for building
Yeah.
and for mountain building.
Yeah.
Because they say, oh, this will take 2 or 3 or 4 years. No, we don't have time for that now. Because 2 or 3 years, anything can happen, you know.
Yeah.
And so this